Marcus Chen had always been told that humans were the galaxy's greatest fools. Too reckless, too emotional, too willing to leap before looking. Standing on the observation deck of the Zephyrian research station, orbiting Kepler 442b, watching the swirling crimson storms below, he was beginning to think the rest of the galaxy might have a point. "You're thinking too much again," Lyric said, her forearms gracefully adjusting the holographic display between them. Her species, the Zephyrians, were known throughout the sector for their methodical approach to everything, from scientific research to choosing what to eat for breakfast. They planned 17 steps ahead for the simplest decisions. Marcus turned to look at her, noting how her bioluminescent markings pulsed in what he'd learned was amusement. After 6 months working together on the xenoarchaeology project, he could read her expressions better than most humans could read each other. "The artifact isn't going anywhere," he said, gesturing toward the containment field that held their latest discovery. The object was roughly spherical, about the size of a basketball, and seemed to be made of some kind of living metal that shifted and flowed like mercury while maintaining its shape. They'd found it buried 3 kilometers beneath the planet's surface, predating any known civilization in this system by at least 50,000 years. "Correct," Lyrics agreed, her translator rendering her musical language into crisp standard, "which is why we should complete another 47 diagnostic scans before considering physical interaction." Marcus suppressed a grin. 47. Not 45, not 50. The Zephyrians' precision was legendary and occasionally maddening. The artifact pulsed suddenly, a deep blue light emanating from within its flowing surface. Both scientists froze, watching as symbols appeared and disappeared across its skin, symbols that looked almost familiar, like half-remembered dreams. "It's responding to our presence," Marcus whispered. "Obviously. Which is why we should retreat. To minimum safe distance and—" The artifact pulsed again, brighter this time, and Marcus felt something he couldn't quite describe. A pull. Not physical, but something deeper. Like the moment before diving off a cliff, when fear and exhilaration became indistinguishable. "It wants something," he said. Lyrix's markings shifted to what he recognized as concern. "Marcus, you're exhibiting classic human pre-recklessness indicators. Elevated breathing, dilated pupils, increased fidgeting." "I'm not fidgeting. You've shifted your weight 14 times in the last minute." The artifact pulsed a third time, and now Marcus could swear he heard something. Not with his ears, but in that same indefinable way he felt the pull. A whisper, ancient and patient. "Choose." "The containment field," he said suddenly. "It's not just containing the artifact. It's containing us, keeping us separate from it." "Yes, that's the point of containment fields," Lyrix replied, but her tone suggested she was thinking along the same lines. Marcus stepped closer to the field, and the artifact's pulsing intensified. The whisper became clearer. "Choose, young one. Fear or wonder, safety or truth." "The other expeditions," Marcus said, pieces clicking together in his mind with the chaotic brilliance that drove his Zephyrian colleagues to distraction. "The Kalurian survey team, the Andromedan research vessel, they all found similar artifacts on different worlds. And they all reported the same thing before contact was lost. That the artifacts were calling to them," Lyrics finished. "Yes, I've read the reports, which is precisely why we established containment protocols." Marcus looked at her, seeing the conflict in her bioluminescent patterns, curiosity warring with caution, just like in him, but where his species would have already either grabbed the thing or run screaming, hers would debate for months. "Be brave, human," Lyric said suddenly, her markings shifting to something he'd never seen before, a swirling pattern of silver and gold. "That's what your species is for, isn't it? Being brave when the rest of us are too wise." The words hit him like a physical blow. In 6 months of working together, she'd never directly acknowledged the elephant in the room, that humans were the galaxy's designated crazy people, the ones called in when a situation required someone stupid enough to try the impossible. Marcus reached toward the containment field controls. "Marcus," a new voice said from behind them, deep and resonant, "step away from the controls." They turned to see Admiral Thicksall, Lyrix's father and the expedition commander, standing in the doorway. His 7-foot frame filled the entrance, and his markings displayed the stern authority pattern Marcus had learned to dread. "Father, we were just—" "I know exactly what you were doing, Offspring," the Admiral said, stepping into the room. "And I know what you said to encourage him." His 4 eyes fixed on Marcus. "The question is, are you brave enough to see this through, human? Or will you hesitate now that you know the cost?" Marcus felt his heart rate spike. "Cost?" "The other expeditions," Admiral Thicksall continued, approaching the containment field. "They didn't just lose contact, they transcended. The artifacts aren't just ancient technology, they're tests, gateways. The species that created them left them behind, to find others worthy of joining them among the stars." The artifact pulsed again, and this time all 3 of them felt it. A wave of vast, patient intelligence touching their minds. "The Kalurians who touched their artifact," the Admiral continued, "they reported achieving a form of existence beyond physical matter. The Andromedans spoke of joining a collective consciousness spanning galaxies. But in each case, only those who chose bravery over fear could make the transition." Marcus looked between father and daughter, understanding dawning. You both knew what this was." "We suspected," Lyrix admitted. "But we needed someone who could make the choice without overthinking it. Someone whose species hadn't bred caution into their very DNA." The Admiral's markings shifted to something that might have been approval. "Your species has a saying, 'Fortune favors the bold.' The beings who left these artifacts believed the same thing. They're looking for inheritors, species brave enough to reach beyond their limitations." Marcus stared at the artifact, feeling its pull stronger than ever. The whisper had become a song, ancient and beautiful and utterly alien. He understood now why his species was always called in for the impossible jobs. Not because they were expendable, but because they were the only ones willing to risk everything for the chance of something greater. "So," he said, hand hovering over the containment controls. No pressure. Lyrix's markings shifted to pure amusement. None whatsoever. Marcus Chen, descendant of a species that had climbed down from trees and decided to reach for the stars, turned off the containment field and grabbed the artifact with both hands. The universe exploded into light, wonder, and infinite possibility. Behind him, Admiral Thicksall began composing his report. "Human subject has achieved successful transition. Recommend immediate deployment of human volunteers to remaining artifact sites. Note for the record, sometimes the galaxy's greatest fools are exactly what the cosmos ordered."